Hi, I'm Sean.
And I'm Aaron. And this is Milo.
And we're Blue Crab Nomads.
Alrighty, where are we at?
We are at the Thousand Trails Gettysburg Farm.
Gettysburg Farm. And what are we doing right now? This is crazy.
We are riding through. It is a true farm. It is not just the name. You are on a working farm.
We are riding through a corn maze currently. Corn maze, a corn trail, you could say. We woke up this morning to the roosters cooing, cock-a-doodle-dooing. We had the pigs oinking, the cows mooing. It has been so much fun. Come check it out. Let's see who this pretty boy is. Hi, honey. Hi there. This is one of the sweetest cows that I have probably ever met. I think they said his name was Kirby, and he is just such a sweetheart.
No, but what did you name Kirby for the week?
Well, I named him Annabelle because I thought he was a girl, but these little horns told me otherwise. So something really fun about this week is that Sean's parents actually came up from Maryland to surprise us, and they've been staying with us for the past 3 days.
They are staying in the toy hauler, which is their first time staying with us ever since we've been in the RV, but it's also their first time staying since we got the new RV. So it's been kind of cool. They're in the market for something new, so they're able to see what it's like to be in a toy hauler. They're currently in a Class A, so they're kind of doing their own comparisons as well while they're staying with us and while we're all having fun together.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We went out to dinner last night in Gettysburg, had a blast, had a few drinks, kind of explored the town a little bit. Milo loves having their dog Tucker, who's a black lab, in. So it's just been a good week all around. Something that we really like about this park is the amount of green space that's available. So this is kind of in between two parts of the park. We're staying over here past the pool by the farm, but this is just a bunch of open green space. So if you're here with family, if you're here with friends, if you want to plan your family reunion here and everybody come camp out, you have so much green space to let the dogs play or the kids play or whatever it may be. I don't think we've ever been to a campground with this much just open space. Depending on where you are in the park, there's actually full hookups, so 50 amp water sewer, there's 30 amp water sewer, there's just water and electric, and then some sites are true primitive tent and RV sites. So you can choose to be there by the lake, have your deck or your front porch open directly to the water, but you are limited to just water and electric, or you can be, kind of closer to the sheep where you're gonna have full hookups. To check out a few amenities, we have the pool, which of course is closed for the season. There's several comfort stations located throughout the campground, and then you do have 2 dump stations up here if you are in one of the sites without sewer. You do have the option to dump before you leave. We also saw the honey wagon come around a few times, so that also appears to be an option. We have one of 2 animal corrals. So we have horses, there's a cow, llamas. Let's check it out. Hi, pretty boy. So as you guys can see, we really do back up right to the farm, which is awesome. We can hear all the animals in the morning. We're able to come out when it's feeding time and watch. I think my favorite, come here, Butcher, come on, is Mr. Butcher. He is the sweetest sheep. Come here, buddy. Come on. So his story is so sweet. His mom kind of kicked him out of the herd, or out of the house when he was little. So the farm here took him in and kind of raised him. So he has no perception of what it's like to be a sheep. They said instead he acts more like a dog, and he is just the sweetest boy ever. Hey, Butcher. Hi, bud. Aren't you? Yeah. So this is actually a petting zoo, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. This section here, you're able to come with the farm staff, and you're able to pet the bunnies, play with Butcher, feed the birds, and so on. It's really cool. Again, we're staying at Gettysburg Farm. Let's see what else they have. Alrighty, so in here, it looks like we have a few more chickens, another turkey. Everybody must be sleeping this morning. Let's go take a look. Alrighty, so we're coming up on the pigs. You can probably hear them. You can't smell them. I can definitely smell them. Be thankful you can't smell this through the camera. Pretty boys.
Hey, guys.
A pretty peacock.
Oh.
Oh. Let's see here. There's a rooster. We hear him every morning. A few billy goats. Look at that. Hi, guys. Hi, sweethearts. Make sure to check out our Instagram because we have some videos up of us feeding them. You're able to purchase feed in the office. You can give them little snacks throughout the day, and they're just so cute. They're so lovable. How would you rate this campground?
I really like it. It's really cool because it's interactive, and there's not a lot of campgrounds that we go to that are interactive, where not only are there animals, but you can pet the animals, you can feed them, you can interact with them. They're very, very friendly. They're very used to people. People walk their dogs up and down here all the time, so they're not getting very skittish. But also the people are just really nice. The people that work the farm and work the campground are very nice. They're very personable. And it's been a very quiet, relaxing campground. At night, you can barely hear anything going on. You can just hear kind of like the sounds of the nature and see the stars. So it's been nice.
I love it. Yeah, we would definitely recommend it. You can always tell when it's Halloween at a campground. Sean and I first started camping around Halloween, so it kind of always feels like home. Whenever we start to see the leaves change and all the Halloween decorations come out.
It was the week after Halloween we moved in because we had just missed all of the Halloween festivities. We had to wait a full calendar year to be able to enjoy it again. And the Halloween weekend was a travel weekend for us. So last year we pulled into the campground that we were at maybe 30 minutes before trick-or-treating started, and we rushed to get the candy out and decorations up for the kids. But
that's right, we just got back into the country. We went on a vacation with Sean's parents out of the country, and we came back and it was like Halloween day, and we were so excited to give out candy to the kids. So these are a few of the campsites at Gettysburg Farm. I think I mentioned earlier in the video, there's different sites from full hookups to just water and electric to just electric and so on. But what we like is that all the sites for the most part are pretty spaced out. When you're around the farm, you're gonna have lots of green space in between each of your graveled sites. Our site is more than big enough to allow both of our decks down, and we just have to park the truck kind of parallel, which is fine. We're pretty much used to doing that at most campsites when we have the deck down. One thing we will say is as you get into the 50 amp portion of the park, the sites do become a bit more narrow. So they kind of adhere to like the zigzag pattern. We'll be able to show you that in a minute. But I would say if you're a toy hauler or a larger rig, if you can survive on 30 amp, you're gonna have a larger site. Or if you plan your trip like we did around the fall where we don't need all 3 of our ACs, I think that's probably like the way to go.
Yeah, we opted for a better view, to be up by the animals, to be able to back up and have our back down, which turned out to be a bigger site. But it is a 30 amp site, and we've been fine. We have the Watchdog Surge Protector, so I can pull it up on the app and see how many amps we're using at all times, so we know if we're good. But it's in the 60s during the day and the 40s at night, so we're running a few space heaters just to keep the rig warm without using our propane furnace. But we really haven't noticed that we're not on 50. Now, again, it's October, it's cooler weather, but I'd rather have the view that we have than the view down here, because we wouldn't even be able to put the back down in these 50 amp sites that they have down here. And with my parents being with us, I really wanted them to be able to have that space since they're staying in the garage bedroom.
Yeah, the Watchdog has been great. We've had it ever since we started RVing. It was kind of one of our first accessory purchases, I guess you could say, but it saved us a few times. Once in Florida, we were staying in Bradenton at an Encore park, and the power kept surging. It was super inconsistent, and a few of our neighbors actually had some electrical issues with their RV because of it, but the Watchdog protected us and kind of took us offline and you know, kind of alerted us. There's been a few other times where, like when we were transferring RVs in Texas, it was so hot the power kept surging at the pole in the parking lot, and it kind of saved us from that as well. So
these are the sites over here. These are 50 amp full hookup, but these are not pull-throughs. These are 2 back-to-back sites along one long gravel road. So as you see here, here's a 5th wheel with their deck down, and the Valor behind them cannot put their deck down. And both of these are, I would say, 40-foot or a little bit smaller units. So they're not as big as they could be.
yeah, that's true. I think that's like the downside of the 50 amp section, is that you do have a smaller site. You're kind of crowded in here a bit more, but it is full hookup. So if you do end up coming in the summer and you need a 50 amp, you know, as we showed earlier, there's lots of green space, there's lots of grass space. So you wouldn't be, you know, in some parks you're tied to your site. Here, there's definitely, you know, a bunch of things to do and let the kids or the family spread out. So all of these are actually seasonal sites. So you know, they're a little bit bigger, but unfortunately they're not available for nightlies. So dumpsters are conveniently located throughout, right? So I think there's 3 dumpster stations in total. I would say if I had to be nitpicky, one of the things I'm really not a fan of is there aren't any dog stations throughout the park. So, you know, just make sure before you go on your walk that you have plenty of bags with you. You just kind of gotta hold on to your bags until you find a dumpster, which isn't a big deal, but we have noticed lots of dogs walking around, so I do think that that's a little bit of an improvement that maybe could be made, is just having those dog stations in the park.
With us having Milo, it's something that we always look for. Yeah, there are times where we run out the door and forget a bag, or sometimes he's already gone and then he goes again and you weren't expecting it, so you don't have a bag. So those stations are always nice. It's also nice because those pet stations normally have the trash cans with them, so you're not just carrying around the bags, you know, for the rest of your walk.
Yeah, I also think a dog park would be nice, and I understand not every campground has the room for that or can accommodate that, and I'm sure there are many things that we don't even know, such as insurance and, you know, so on. But it is just something to note. You know, we always like to keep in mind when we travel, is there a spot that Milo can run off leash, or is there a dog park close by that we can take him to? So take us, Sean, up to the front office really quick, just a little loop, and we'll kind of showcase some of the amenities. So not only do you have, of course, the big field that we showed, there is a like corn trail you can walk or ride your golf cart through. Of course, you have the petting zoo and the animals, but you also have a basketball court and putt-putt. And I will say it's actually one of the better putt-putt courses that we've seen in a campground, I think.
One of the things that I also really like about this campground is the roads are very wide. There have been some parks recently that we've gone into that are some pretty tight turns. There's some trees, some low-hanging branches that we have to get around, and this is just a very wide open entrance. Obviously, as you get back into the park, you can't always have that. But just the entrance of the park, while you're still kind of finding your bearings, just checking in, figuring out where your site is going, these roads are very wide. The turns are nice and wide. So us coming in with the, you know, dually long bed truck plus 44 feet of fifth wheel, we had no issue getting around. And we've seen some tag axle Class A's towing cars behind them with no issue getting through as well, which is always appreciated.
So straight ahead, we have the trading post, the office. That's where you can buy animal feed. It's a pretty well-stocked store, actually. They have the Hershey's ice cream and so on. There is an arcade inside. It looks like it was set up for bingo, so maybe throughout the summer, they'll have like bingo activities inside. The arcade, the membership office, and when it's cold, there's a lot of tables inside. So if you are camping and you have like some maybe rainy days, you can go in there and play cards or board games. And then of course we have putt-putt here. There's a playground for the kiddos.
And it's very well decorated for Halloween currently.
It is, yeah. The putt-putt course is very spooky. And then the basketball court. So it's fun. I think for us, you know, spending the past month or so up in New England, we definitely had really kind of a beachy vibe. A lot of times we were in small towns or we were driving into larger cities. So it was really nice for this week to kind of take a step back and live on a farm for the week, and just kind of unwind and decompress. So I think this was a good way to end our cold season anyway. We leave Saturday, the day after tomorrow, for Florida, so this was a nice way to kind of end our cold season.
I would agree.
Alrighty, so Gettysburg Farm, located in technically Dover, Pennsylvania. What are our thoughts?
I really like it. It's been a nice way to get away.
It has. It's true. You're kind of out in the middle of nowhere a little bit. There's Milo. I don't know if you can hear him playing in the screen room, but it's a nice way to get away. There's not necessarily a lot around. I think we're like 35 minutes from a Walmart. Gettysburg, Pennsylvania is about a 25 to 30 minute drive, so you can definitely go into town, have some drinks or a really nice dinner. But if you're looking to get away and kind of unplug for a bit, head to Gettysburg Farm, play with some animals. Great cell service here. We've had really good luck with Starlink, so you can definitely still stay connected. It's a great spot if you just need to put your head down and get some work done without many distractions, or if you just want to be able to, you know, do something different for the family or the kids. So check it out. It's part of 1,000 Trails. Alrighty guys, until next time.
See ya.